Charismatic people have this skill. They have a mentality shift. When they go into interactions with people, all they focus on is how can they ask the most interesting questions.
What we're trying to say here is there are some people who just seem to have that thing. When they're in a room or they're talking or they're amongst people, they have something. What is that?
So that question always fascinated me. So we run a human behavior research lab, and I was like, I want to study this. What makes people so memorable? So we actually found patterns between people who are really memorable and have that quality that's you instantly want to know them, and people who are more forgettable. So
I tend to think I've met a lot of different business people, and you meet the heads of companies, and they all seem to have most of them seem to have that same it factor that big celebrities have. There's a star quality to people.
Absolutely.
It draws people to them.
Definitely, and that is learnable. That's what I'm hoping we can talk about today.
Really?
That you can learn it, absolutely. You can increase it. So the first thing is, there's a myth I want to bust, and it's that we think that charismatic people are perfect. They're more attractive, they're smarter, they're better than. That is absolutely not the case. And so the first habit that charismatic people do is they embrace their imperfections. So this was done with a study by psychologist Richard Weissman, and he wanted to see, could vulnerability really make you more likable? So he had two actresses sell a blender in a mall. One actress had the perfect pitch. The other actress had the same pitch, but she spilled the smoothie from the blender all over the table. So the question is, who sold more blenders? Surprisingly, it was actress number 2, the one who spilled the smoothie.
Funny!
And not only that, but everyone in the audience rated her as more likable.
Because we can relate to her, because we're imperfect and okay.
Exactly. So when you're out, I don't want you to worry about being smarter or better than. What I want you to do is, if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you're feeling nervous, that actually bonds you to people. You can use those imperfections to connect with people.
I would imagine there's a balance to that, though. If you're constantly self-deprecating and you're constantly pointing out your own failings, after a while, you're just annoying.
Yes, and that brings me perfectly, exactly, and that brings me perfectly to point number 2, which is don't be a conversational narcissist. Because annoying people...
I hate those kind of people. I just don't like them. I don't like them at all. I think they kill the me factor.
No, they kill it. So what we found is that charismatic people have this skill. They have a mentality shift. When they go into interactions with people, all they focus on is how can they ask the most interesting questions, which is very different. They don't think about what they're going to say or how they're going to talk about themselves. They figure out, how can I get this person to tell me their story? So I challenge you, next time you go to a big event or a party, think about how can you get the person you're speaking with to tell you their story? What questions can you ask that are just going to pry out their most interesting aspects of themselves?
Well, it's not going to be, what do you do?
Right. It's not going to be what you do. It's going to be, what are your personal passion projects?
Right.
It's going to be, what was the most exciting thing that happened to you today?
Here's what somebody asked once in a group I was in. Who's the most interesting person you ever met?
Oh,
Love
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's actually what we did in our study is we asked people, who is the most charismatic person you know? And then we started to look for patterns in those charismatic people. So I love that. And you can even say, people, who do you know who's charismatic? What do you think makes someone charismatic? So once you start asking these questions, it's very important, this is habit number 3, is to gush, don't gossip. So the old saying that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should be listening.
Listening more, right.
Yeah, listening more than we're speaking. And what's important about this is something called the spontaneous trait transference. Forgive me for this scientific term, but what this is they found that when you speak ill of someone, people cannot help but associate those negative traits to you as well as the person you're talking about. We cannot help it. So for example, if I were to say, ugh, she's so mean, I don't like her, she's awful. Mean and awful actually stick to me just as much as her.
Really?
Yes.
Is that true? Is that true even if the people who are listening don't know the other person?
Even then.
Even if they know or don't know.
Know or
matter.
don't know. If you mention those adjectives, people just cannot help but associate that to you. So what you're better off doing is find genuine ways to gush about people. And it has to be genuine. So I did this just the other night. My friend Carrie came up. I was talking to a group of people. I said, oh, this is my friend Carrie. She's a fierce, feisty female entrepreneur. Everything she does is pretty awesome. Because I genuinely love Carrie, so I was able to introduce her. So when someone comes into a group and you're introducing someone, take that opportunity to genuinely gush about them. That's a great way to share.
You know, my uncle is like that, and he's fairly charismatic, but he always sees the positive in some people, and it's amazing. And it's never negative first. It's always something nice,
and that translates onto him. It's like a halo effect.
Yeah, interesting.
So I had to have 2 last body language tips.
Okay.
You know, I love talking about body language. So the first one is showing your hands. Our hands are our trust indicators. Women are often taught to put their hands underneath the table in their
Right.
lap. That's
Right.
polite. Actually, you're much better off keeping them above the table because studies show that when someone can see your hands, they rate you as more trustworthy, which is exactly what charismatic people do.
And use your hands when you're talking?
Use your hands when you're talking. No jazz hands.
Okay.
Right? No jazz
No,
hands.
but-
keeping them visible. Don't tuck them into your purse. Don't put them behind your back when you're talking. As much as possible, just keeping them
Crossing
visible.
your arms, no.
No,
Yeah,
not
no.
allowed.
So keep
Not
them,
allowed.
keep them out, keep them,
Keep them
even,
out
even
and
if they're
visible.
just together.
And what
Yeah.
about looking into someone's eyes?
That's my last tip, and that's the most important. Eye contact is great. That's half the story. I want you to try deep gazing. That's noticing someone's eye color, and the reason for that is because they found that when you do that, it releases.
This doesn't get creepy.
Well, it's a little bit creepy, but just briefly, Dave. Briefly.
okay.
Remember, no
Don't-
extremes.
Got it. All
yeah,
right.
just a little bit of deep gazing, and that builds that connection.
Keep eye contact. That's important.